Oasis Audio presents the complete Edgar Rice Burroughs collection, fully authorized by Edgar Rice Burroughs, Incorporated.
Carson of Venus by Matt Betts. Read for you by John Mclain. Forward, an unexpected visitor. In retrospect, I am not sure I have had a stranger job interview. At the very least, this one was unique. I sat in the offices that once belonged to the renowned American author Edgar Rice Burroughs, across from the desk that he actually used, and stared at the dark wooden shelves lined with his books. That, in and of itself, would have been enough to make my trip here worthwhile. I was meeting with the company's director of publishing about an idea I had to write a new series based on The Deputy Sheriff of Comanche County, one of Mr. Burroughs' Western novels. Shortly after our meeting began, my interviewer rose and apologized as he was summoned into the adjoining room for a brief consult with the company's president and vice president. I was left sitting in the marvelous office, trying my best not to pick up every little knick-knack, wondering if it had belonged to the famous writer. It had been an unusually cloudy day in Southern California when I'd entered the Tarzana offices, so I was grateful when a wide beam of sunshine suddenly streamed through the dark shutters behind me. I leaned back in my chair, taking a moment to appreciate the historic setting where I found myself. I watched the motes of dust float slowly across the beam of light and considered crossing the room to examine the titles on the bookcase facing me. I wondered if any of the great author's reference books were still on those very shelves. With one last glance at the door, I moved around the desk. Even if none of his reading material was there, I figured I would at least get a look at some early editions of his books. My path took me through the warm light, and as it fell on me, I could see more of the tiny specks of dust begin to spin around me. I stopped. A wave of heat washed over me, and I turned to look at the source of the light. Surely even the California sun wasn't that intense. There, next to the window, stood a fair-haired and athletic-looking young man, garbed in the most unusual outfit. Bare-chested except for a leather harness, he wore a garment resembling something between a loincloth and a kilt. A strange pistol hung from a wide belt around his hips, and he wore tall boots with metal greaves. He looked at me with a confusion that must have mirrored my own. "You are no one I know from Mr. Burroughs' company," he said. "No." I pointed to the door. "They're all in the other room. I can get them for you." It occurred to me that maybe the man had slipped in when I wasn't paying attention. "Are you an actor, here for some kind of promotional shoot?" "No." "Well, let me go get someone for you. They're just—" "It doesn't work that way, sir." Having no idea what he meant, I fumbled nervously through the stacks of paperwork on the desk before me, searching for a piece of scratch paper. "I'm not exactly sure what you mean," I said. "Do you want to leave a message?" "I do, of a sort, but not the kind you mean." "You could send them a text or an email?" I suggested, still confused. The man shook his head. "I am Carson Napier. Mr. Burroughs and I used to have discussions, wherein he would listen to my stories and keep them in his marvelous memory to later transcribe them."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?